one of the things I'm really proud of when it comes to personal growth is that I am way less online. I mean, I still am using the internet, but I'm not what someone would call termly online. I feel like I don't have that problem anymore. Or even if I do spend hours scrolling, it can happen to anyone. Even if you're not even like the most popular person or whatever, you still end up like spending time just catching up with people. But anyway, um, it's just a matter of wow. Once you stop using it as much, the more it kind of dawns on you how the internet kind of makes us worse, or at least brings out the worst in every single person on planet Earth. And it's especially worse nowadays when a lot of people are going mask off about how hateful and vile they are. But I'm saying just generally, I've seen this uptick in basically not realizing that on the other side of the screen there's a human being, or even if they do realize, it's a matter of, well, I know but I don't care. And also I noticed just so much discourse going on all at once, and it's over the stupidest things. It's not even like something important, like again something like the genocide that is going on right now, or something where, it's worth talking about because it's something that affects people's lives in a serious manner. Because, yes, talking about Palestine is important because guess what? People's lives are at stake. And sure, speaking up won't save people's lives, maybe, but it will at least help raise awareness at the very least. The problem is there's people who think that like something like I don't even know if I shouldn't give any examples, but like I don't know, slur reclamation or femboy discourse or bi lesbians or whatever shit like that means anything in real life. Because I'm going to be honest, no matter what your take on bi lesbians is, whether you're for or against, it doesn't affect anyone in real life. And I have kind of come to the conclusion that it might even be partially a psyop of sorts to basically create more and more infighting. Because guess what? While we argue with one another for like the what, fucking 10th, 20th, 50th year in a row about the same topic, which, let's be honest, will never reach a conclusion. There will never be a consensus on that because people will not want to like come to a conclusion because, yeah, well, they have their reasons. Guess what? Bigots are gonna pass laws against all of you. Whether you're pro this, anti this, neutral, whatever, you're all going to be affected. And that's why I think that discourse like this would only make sense when we have reached proper equality, when there is no more discrimination, we all live in a good world where there's no divisive opinions. But anyway, I'm just like going back in a personal level. I remember years ago I used to engage in a lot of discourse and say a lot of stupid shit, just kind of like get into arguments with random people over bullshit, honestly. I can't call it otherwise. It's just bullshit. And guess what? It caused nothing but just my time being wasted. And not to mention, some of that I wasn't even fully believing in. I just like wanted to dunk on someone who is a piece of shit or whatever. Like, I don't know. There's just so much of it. Just arguing with bigots is just a huge waste of time, and it's a form of self-harm. Trying to dunk someone is not worth it, because guess what, you're going to try to change the mind of some hateful whatever type bigot, insert, turf, racist, whatever. Guess what, they have already made up their mind about you. They have already formed an opinion on you 5 minutes before you even made your first reply, because they won't change their minds. You know what's gonna change a bigot's mind, a hateful person's mind? Not you telling them, well, what you're doing is wrong. Gee Wilkers, thank goodness I am the better person. I have come to the conclusion, you can send them any evidence, proof, scientific, legal, whatever. They will not accept it. They will only accept scientific research or anything that either A, full on is agreeing with them, or B, is from one of the websites they frequent, which by proxy also agrees with their viewpoint. Anything else is what people used to call in the 2000s fake and gay, really, to be completely honest. They're not going to care. They're not going to care. They're just going to dismiss every argument you have. And I think that's why it's a waste of time. The only thing that is going to change a hateful person's mind is personal experiences. Like, that's kind of, unfortunately, though, one thing I realized. You can spend hours trying to change someone's mind, but if they're not willing to change their minds, they won't. All you did is waste your own time. It's a form of self-harm, because one, you've wasted your time, and two, you're wasting your mental state. You're spending time that you could have spent doing something you enjoy, or even something you don't enjoy but could help you, or even just doing nothing. Like, I'm going to be honest, you could sit and stare at a wall. That would be more productive than arguing with a hateful person who's going to do nothing but annoy you and piss you off, because that's what they're trying to do. Don't quote retweet people. Don't reply to people. You don't like what someone says, block and move on. If someone tries to, harass you or bully you, just circumvent that shit. Don't argue with them. Go private for a day or two if needed. I don't know, limit replies. Just do anything that would make them stop. Because arguing with them will not help anyone. It will just only help them. Especially if you're quote retweeting them. Because guess what? You're putting someone's vile statements on your timeline. And especially if you have high visibility, especially if you're super active, right? You might end up having hate followers. Like, people who follow you just to dunk on you or stalk you. And that's when you're in hundreds of thousands or very popular. And guess what? If you quote retweet someone saying something vile, that person gets extra visibility from those people. That's how networking is being made. You're pretty much helping them group themselves up. What I'm saying is, do not give them free advertising, because that's what they want you to do. They want to fuck up your mental state, give them free advertising, and also as a result, not only create have more people spreading the word, but also have more people's days fucked. That's kind of the thing. But yeah, no, back to what I was trying to say. I used to argue in all these stupid discourses, get in arguments with people, and after one point I realized this is stupid, this is pointless, and I stopped. And honestly, I feel like I have become a better person then. I've become way less judgmental because the thing is, the more you argue with people, the more close minded you also become. Especially if it's over something stupid. I would say, even if it's over something that isn't stupid, right? Like, if it's a serious matter, don't argue with people. Don't get into discourse. Don't start fights because it's just a waste of time. And all you do is you will play their game. You'll do their bidding. Just spread the, say the right thing, spread the right word, and ignore anyone who's hateful. Because I see anytime there's anything regarding like trans people, right? You go on replies and you see someone being vile, and there's always like people dunking on them, being like, "Oh, you're stupid," or "Ooh, Ratio plus Sonic Adventure 2," and it's like, no, block, hide the reply, or whatever. Just basically do not engage. Let them fade into the depths of replies. Or even better, block and report the tweet, especially if it has, anything insulting. And sure, I know, reporting systems on social media, especially Twitter, with what's going on right now, with who having control over it, is dog shit, to be quite frankly. And I know that it won't help, because very often you find like you get like results of, "Oh, we have found that this person hasn't done anything bad," and it's like as mask off as possible. But it's still better than replying, even if they even if the likelihood of them getting banned is 1%, it's still better than spending 10 minutes of your time replying to them and waiting for something to say to dunk them, own them so epically. It's like, no. But I've been less involved with that stuff, and it helps. It actually helps me. It helped my mental state, and I feel like the online that is going on now being kind of like very different from the online I fell in love with created this growing disconnect for me, which makes me be even less involved online. Like, I only use Twitter these days to keep up with friends, and sometimes I tweet things, sometimes I retweet things, but I'm far from the like how active I used to be even a year ago, because I just, all I do is catch up with friends, reply sometimes, and that's all. And honestly, if it was easier to catch up with friends in DMs, and I wasn't so terrible at catching up and keeping in touch, I would have probably quit Twitter long ago. Like, Twitter does have its own advantages, but honestly, I have been thinking of creating just a website, having my own blog where I talk about how I feel and whatever matters to me, not even just like as a weekly video, but like just, hey, I watched a movie I really liked and I want to like put in a few words. It doesn't even have to be a full-fledged review with like, every single thing analyzed. No. I could just say, hey, I watched this shit. It's cool. Go watch it. Just something simple like that. Something that you could do in a tweet, but I just don't want to have that like over engagement, I guess. It's why I've been also more active on my private and less publicly. Because the only engagement I get is from friends and people I care about in general. So, I don't have to engage with random person who fucking uh name searched. Like I remember I said something critical of Eminem, right? I said that I liked the new one of the new songs, the one with the music video, whatever the name is. I don't even remember. I said, "Oh, it's a step in the right direction. I like how he is self-aware about a lot of things, and I like what he did with it, right?" But I also said that much of his newer output since like the 2010s, maybe since like maybe Marshall Matters LP2 or whatever, is kind of dog water. And they started attacking me for it. Of course, I didn't engage with it. It's just people being, I like Eminem, how dare you be a hater? And when I wasn't even a hater, I legit was saying, hey, I just don't like this. It is kind of like the popular consensus. It's just like some people are really, really, really going out of their way to try to engage with people. Like, my point is, these people could have just blocked me if, oh yeah, this take is shit. I don't agree with it. I don't like this person. I get bad vibes from this person. Block and move on. But the fact that these people had to like take it up on like the responsibility to defend their like I don't know, their idol is like, okay, you do that, but like what do you even gain from it? Like, haha, you call me a degenerate and you said my opinion is shit. Ooh, my feelings are so hurt. I just find it funny that nowadays on social media you can't even say, hey, in my humble opinion, I don't like this. I think it's bad. I think it sucks. And people start like attacking you as if like I think that too many people like engage with tweets under this guise of everyone thinking that their opinions are fact. Like, I don't know, when I say, hey, I don't like this thing, I like this thing, I'm not saying that, oh, my opinion is fact, and if you think that if you don't like this and you like this instead, your opinions are bad. I'm not saying that. It's like, hey, my opinion, this is bad and this is good. Like, of course, in some cases, I will say, hey, when it comes to something important like human rights, I will say, hey, if you're a hateful piece of shit, then yeah, you are a bad person. But I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't give a shit whether you like, I don't know, like if you like modern Eminem, for example, just going back to the previous conversation, good for you. You enjoy something I can't really enjoy personally. I still like his older music. I still can go back to that. There's even some like that other song that I mentioned. I don't even remember the name of. It wasn't bad. Like if someone put it on, I wouldn't like have a problem with it. I'd be like, yeah, that's cool with me. I mean, of course, I would never like outright be like, oh, turn that off. Ooh, ooh. But like my point is, I would just like bop to it, just listen to it, enjoy it. The point is, I think that people take social media too seriously, but at the same time have a problem of like dehumanizing the other person. They kind of see the other person as like an NPC in like GTA, where in GTA, if you want to like hit a pedestrian or something like that, you just do it just without much thought. But that's not how real life works. But the thing is, I think that the isolation that has happened from like 2020 onwards, more or less onwards, I think it kind of created this phenomenon of a lot of people have not engaged with a real life human being in years. And as a result, they're so lonely and sad and stuck in their little cocoon. And it's even worse if they got indoctrinated into believing this or that, that they just they just end up dehumanizing anyone that they engage with in a negative manner, to the point where you even have people laughing at the deaths of like random innocent people just because they happen to be X or Y. And like, if they haven't done anything bad, it's like you're just kind of vile. Like, I get it if it's like someone who has caused the harm of countless people or has done something evil, but like, if it's just like a person who died and they haven't done anything wrong to anyone, you're just being vile. And I don't know, I think that like, just I don't like this online. And sure, like I said before, and ironically enough on my Twitter, I'm not saying that things were so much better in the 2000s. Like, hell no. Like, there were really horrible and vile things even then, but I feel like they were more localized. Like, what I'm trying to say is, we have cases like, for example, the Jesse Slaughter situation, how they bullied this kid and got to the point where the kid was abused by his father. And it got to like, pretty much it ruined the family beyond like repair, and caused lifelong trauma. And the problem is that like, stuff like that are now mentioned as like very big lows for the internet, right? But things have gotten so bad that we have situations like that happening probably just about weekly at this point. But because they're so normalized on modern day internet, people are not going to talk about them. We're still going to talk about stuff that happened in 2009 because that wasn't as like frequently seen. But nowadays, it feels like people are actively seeking out people to harass at this point. Like, there's literally a culture of like people seeking out their character of the day, someone who's a little weird, a little embarrassing, a little quote unquote cringy, just to like hop on them and try to like engage with them and try to like encourage them to embarrass themselves by any means necessary. Like, it doesn't work initially, they keep on going and going and going. And eventually a lot of people end up caving, and they think, if I engage and tell them to leave me alone, that will work, and it never works. It only enables them to continue. The point is, the internet is such a different place from the environment that I grew to love as a kid. And it's so sad. It actually kind of saddens me that I'm not really that online anymore, because I love the internet. I think the internet is incredible, but like nowadays, if I stay on my computer, I don't stay on social media. I just open up YouTube, watch whatever. I've been watching a lot of dank pods, chat with people in Discord, maybe like research into something. Basically, I try to engage with people as little as possible, and honestly, that's probably for the best at this point. The internet has unfortunately become so corporate in one hand, but on the other hand, it has become so full of vile people that the best I can do, and many can do, is just to disengage with social media stuff, and just do your own thing, have your own fun in your little bubble, and don't don't go too far out of that. I don't know. That's about it, I guess. I know that it hasn't been very uh how do I say, I've been kind of very much changing topics and changing conversations flowing here and there. It hasn't been a consistent topic, but I feel like this was important enough for me to say, to talk about. And kind of like the whole point of these videos aren't like to be some incredible, amazing, life-changing type of like content. All I'm doing is I literally just open Audacity, I hit record, I talk for like 20-30 minutes in one take, say exactly what I feel, not rehearsed. That's why I sometimes say the same thing like 5 million times. I look for an image or film some gameplay and I just put it out there and hope that, people are gonna give a shit about it. I don't know. And I feel that's probably the best way to do it, because it feels like even if I repeat myself, even if it's super flawed, even if I might end up saying something stupid I wish I wouldn't say or doesn't make sense to say, it feels like it all comes from heart. And I think that's the most important part of it all. Anyway, I'll see you